Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I'm doing a quick reading. I will be down in this room for the next couple days, then I'm going back upstairs. I'm not sure if I'll do daily draws, but it shouldn't be too long, and then I'll still be upstairs, but once my godparents get back from their trip, they're going to their, I guess it's vacation, it's a vacation home, but um they'll be away for the holidays, and then um I'll do like the car readings for a little bit until I get back to this room. So I did buy yarn today. I just got another skein of the pink, and I am just working on it. I really love the pink. As I mentioned, well, on my other channel, because I talk more about my knitting on my other channel, that I feel like this is a great gift if you really wanted to gift a garment, because they take a long time to knit up. And this is using like a bulkier yarn or bulky yarn, so it knits up quicker than the maybe other weights of yarn that you might knit with for if you have you don't really have a time frame for it, or you have a designated time that you know that you could finish it, or if you're looking to just knit something that is nice to knit and is a little easier to knit up than something that might take more time, you could do that one. But since the project takes up multiple skeins and you look at the yardage for the different skeins, and depending on the weight of the yarn too, you get a range. It can be costly depending on what you use, but I I really wanted a pink sweater this year. And since my other project, not this one, well, this one's gonna get finished, I want to say by the end of the year. And then I have another project that will be finished this coming week that's also a short sleeve sweater. Um, I want to make an elf hat, but I kind of wanted to make it using yarn that um, so I could use the hat throughout the cold seasons and not just like the holidays. And I also wanted to make a beret, but the for the most part I have yarn for the elf hat, and um, I don't have the exact amount, but if I run out, I feel like I could just use other yarn that I have because it's going to taper towards the end, and I could just blend it with something else. So I'll get started on the reading. I would say today is now Sunday, but it's past midnight, and like Saturday was more smooth for me for the things that I was running some errands and like also doing things that I would like to do, just going places and knitting. Friday was just, I wanted to get some things out of the way on Friday, but the universe was like, wait till Saturday, and I tried to just keep going with it, like with what I was just like trying to push it, and it was like not the way to go. The day just felt so, it didn't even feel forced because the things that I was trying to get finished didn't get finished. And one of the smaller things, but it's important to me because I'm gonna pull out cards. It's important to me. Like I went to the yarn store and it's a small shop or a small business. So the shop owner closed the store early, and by the time I got there, I was I didn't get there on time. So I felt like I would just do other things, and I ended up using more gas than what I wanted because I was kind of doing like, the one foul swoop, is that what you say? And trying to navigate like the stuff that I was doing based off of where I was going, or sorry, how did I say that? I wanted to go places that kind of made sense and wasn't out of the way. And if it was really out of the way, then I would do it on another day. But it turns out that basically nothing that I wanted to get complete on Friday got pushed to Saturday, and that's what it was. And I've mentioned this in other videos that I'm getting winter tires like early to mid December, so I'm trying to like not go out of my way too much. But I do tend to be a traveler, and I need to get my oil change soon, so I'll do that while I get my tires. I'll get like two and then another two. I had to at least get two. And I wanted to get the converting adapter next week. So I was also thinking, because well, on my other channel, I made a diagram based off of what I learned on how to make your own electric spinning wheel. And if I were to get just like older parts of various items, like a older sewing machine, the bobbin size that I was looking for, um, just things that I could put together and make into a spinning wheel, I feel like that would be another project to do, but I'm not sure if I'll do that soon, but I kind of want to get that or have an idea of what I would like to do. So there was this kind of vision that I was getting. It was a little earlier that um because sometimes my guides show up in specific meetings. Um, and one of them, it was kind of like they were escorting me out, and it was almost like I was in shock. And I was such in shock that they were trying to hold me up based off of like what I have witnessed or found out. And I feel like that's kind of reassurance too because the first card that got turned over that fell out is the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups, for this reading, it seems that what may seem like not the best, or even it could be horrible news, and in some cases, especially if you're going through something and if you're going through war, of course, there's kind of like a silver lining on the things that happen. What's nice is that you even get the comfort card. So, comfort, Archangel Azrael, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. I feel like this is other energy too. If it's not you, it's like somebody else. It could be you too if you're connected in some way, and um, maybe you're feeling like there's a little bit of a disconnect, or you want the revival to be sooner if there is a type of thing where you're not seeing eye to eye and even physically not seeing eye to eye in some way, that it could be just a matter of life aligning things. And I'm getting that with the Five of Cups. And with the Five of Cups, there's also energy of feeling like you could put your time and effort and energy into something else, because I'm getting like the universe, if you want to think about it like that, or maybe think about it more logically, like is kind of saying that, or is saying that, to not dilly-dally on this because it's just a one step at a time thing, and it's not something that you necessarily need to rush at this time, at least for these moments. I'm also getting nourishment too. So the Five of Cups can be a nourishment time period where, as we've seen in the Four of Cups in the last reading, where sometimes there's times, well, when you have to see the reality of things, or to be perceptive and even calculating too. And with the Four of Cups, it does look like there's a type of acceptance that might be a little forced on you. And then the Five of Cups kind of carries through those. I keep saying kind of, so there must be a little bit of a balance of it, of when you're accepting and then you're following things through. And there's also the point of taking your power back. Archangel Raziel, use your God given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. It's good to accept things, but it's also good to see the worth in something or someone. And if the saying, what's worth the prize is worth the fight. So if there's a time of lack, or a time when you feel that there isn't much of the interconnectedness that you would want to have, it's not something that is, sorry, it's not something that I feel needs to be taken so destructively. Then you have Hello from Heaven, Archangel Azrael again. Your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel other blessings. There is also energy of wanting to push because you need to know. There could be energy of like leading too. One of the things that I did yesterday, since it's Sunday now, is that um, I was on the fence if I was going to, but there was, it's kind of like an elderly event, and at the elementary school where I went to, they were having a fair trade event thing. It wasn't anything big. There were a couple of booths, and I say a couple, like there was just, it was a small thing, and it was mainly the elderly in the parish. And I didn't really come out with money, and I didn't have, if I saw something, I could have gotten it, but I didn't really bring money. And I mainly wanted to see how things looked these days, because obviously I haven't been to elementary school in a long time. And a lot has changed, even the name has changed. I'm just gonna adjust myself, because the elementary school that I went to, it turned into a regional school because one of the other schools closed down. And so the last year that I was there, they merged, and the diocese and they the churches were like getting involved and seeing if they would do the merging. So they did, and that's what happened. And my high school is a regional school too. But I went there. I was seeing it was in one section area, and it was a specific section because that area wasn't there when I went to school there. So it was just a new thing. And I'll be honest, I kind of wanted to see the other areas. But to be honest, there were some changes, but well, besides that, and like add on there, like I went to the back of the school where there's the playground and the fields and everything, and it was empty because it was Saturday. So, and nothing was going on aside from what was there. And I saw the changes, but it didn't feel that different. So, but it was interesting because there was, oh, and when I was about to say this, so this is courage, Archangel Ariel, be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. And I was going the wrong direction because I've never done that before. And so I was even considering like I was just sitting in my car and that happens sometimes, especially maybe if you're introverted and you're thinking maybe I shouldn't even go in because I didn't plan on buying anything and I kind of just was mainly wanting to see things for myself out of my for my own curiosity. And I walked into the church that's across from the school, and it wasn't there. And so I was like, well, okay. There's this woman that approached me, and I feel like she had family that went to the school, or maybe a couple of family members, because she said that she's been going for years. And I felt how kind, and I also felt kind of bad because I didn't think I was gonna buy anything. I didn't buy anything. Um, but she was like, "Let's go this way to try to find where the opening for this event is at." So those what are the things? So with courage, it might just be in a way ripping off the band-aid, and it kind of felt like just that push because some things maybe you need to know sometimes the world allows you to lift that veil or to take the blindfold off so it has some type of clearing or cleansing or makes you feel a little more at ease because the Five of Cups kind of feels that it's not, the word that I was getting is approachable, but maybe something's more approachable or someone is more approachable than you're thinking or letting, or maybe that they're letting on because maybe they could seem more closed off, but at the same time, maybe that is how their personality is, and sometimes our personalities can be interpreted in different ways from by different people, especially I've talked about this if you're compatible with them and depending on how compatible you are, maybe they, and even if you are really compatible with someone, someone can misinterpret something that you may say or do if there isn't an explanation behind it. And maybe that courage is to have the dichotomous thinking and asking the right questions. That was one of the main things, like in college, was asking the right questions, at least for what I majored in, is like if you're doing clinical work. So you have the Three of Wands, and this can be that those results from the Five of Cups too, because maybe he, there's the waiting period that comes in, and since it's minor arcana, it's giving the Amazon package theory, where like you order something and then you're looking at the window a couple minutes after to see, or looking at your phone to see like exactly where it's at, even though a lot of time hasn't passed unless you did the expedited shipping. We have the Nine of Swords with the Page of Cups. So somebody, it could go both ways too, that there's somebody that really is thinking about you, or that they're, or you're thinking about them. I really get that the other person has like a strong desire, sorry, and their cups energy, there is more in of an intimate connection that it has with it. And with the Page of Cups, I wouldn't be surprised if this person just, this feels like it kind of eats away at them at this time because there's the expectation from the Three of Wands and then the waiting and not knowing kind of eats at them. There's just energy of anticipation with that. So you have the Moon card, Major Arcana, and that's the present coming from the Glory to Ukraine Tarot. With this, I'm getting like to be careful, especially with your own emotions too. When I'm getting, if you're driving without the proper lights in the dark areas, especially the woodsy areas where, or the rural areas where there's not a lot of lights compared to like the cities. And the obstacle is the Knight of Pentacles. So this might be procrastination, or because it's heavily, it's a lot of matters of the heart. It just seems like with the Moon card, it's heavy water energy, and then you have the cups, heavy water, well, minor arcana, but combined with the moon, heavy water energy. Because if you're not careful, you can hurt yourself or you can hurt somebody else. So this could be impulsiveness too. With the Knight of Pentacles in the obstacle position, it's not something you really, or somebody that you don't really want to see in the obstacle position. Because when you have a knight, you would want them to serve, and there isn't, it's not something that you want like somebody to be reluctant about or somebody to have second thoughts about. Um, you don't want their loyalty to be questioned in that way. So, because I feel like there's the main the main word that I was getting, like there's a loyal side and then there's this other energy, and I'm not saying that it's not loyal, but it's just really antsy, like ants in your pants type of antsy, where you gotta move, and the Knight of Pentacles is kind of telling you to calm yourself in the nicest way. The present you also have the Justice card, Archangel Raguel. Bear in just decisions, do what you know is right, stand up for your beliefs. In these tender moments, it's important to make sure you know where the integrity is, especially about yourself. Like if you know that you're the type of person to do this or the type of person, not like you're labeling yourself, but you know yourself enough to where your tendencies lie. I feel like it's important to not make this your, what is it, like your villain story, the villain arc story, something like that, where this is where it all began when this moment happened, and then all of a sudden it's the beginning of this dark path. So it's trying to avoid those things because there is a silver lining. And I feel that even though it kind of feels like ants in your pants type of energy for some, could be yours, it could be the other person, could be both, that since the justice is there, I am pretty hopeful that there's a steady solution. Those are the words that are coming out. The other obstacle card, I'm laying the cards on the keyboard, so I'm trying not to press on anything, is the Chariot, Archangel Metatron, an important achievement, self-discipline, and willpower, public recognition. Also major arcana with the Justice and the Moon. So Chariot, it is a movement card. Also can be linked to like maybe the rune Rido. Rido? And I don't know which direction that's showing. It's probably backwards, like the backwards are. That's how I refer to that Cyrillic symbol in the alphabet. So the way that it was turning, it was the cards were turning towards the present and the obstacle. That's the overall energy. It's really nice that the moon is here, but the sun is also here. How to overcome the obstacle is the strength card. So this is like keeping it sturdy. Yeah. In times of adversity, I don't even feel like it's times of doubt either. It just seems like times of disappointment and anticipation. and that eagerness, and not to react to the ants in the pants. So the overall energy, you have the lovers and the sun. So so romantic. Love conquers all, you know what I mean? Both major arcana, strength major arcana. So these cards are coming out, and the other cards for how to overcome the obstacle is the Ace of Air, brilliant new ideas and inspiration, seeing the truth of the situation, a challenging beginning. I love when these types of cards come up because in the Archangel cards or Oracle, these cards fell to me. I love when they're just saying like brilliant ideas or like you have such a good idea. And when I'm reading them, I'm like in my head at the top of my head, I don't necessarily have an idea, but maybe some of those things that you just uncover in your brain when you take out the fog, like if you're pregnant and you have baby brain, something like that, where it just seems like you one thing one minute you're thinking about something and then in a second it just leaves your mind. So there could be trying to calm your mind down and calm your emotions down, especially for this reading too, so that things can have resolve to them, resolutions to them. The overall energy is the Five of Earth from the Angel Tarot. Fear surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self employment. Which is interesting. So maybe if, say, if it's like a proposition or the type of interaction that may involve, like if it's trying to physically obtain something or to be with somebody and there's that lack, it could also be a purging card too. And since we're talking about different things that can make our mind just be in a disarray and our emotions to be at an upheaval, we're going to want to clear that part of what that is. And it is like I was going to say transferring. So it can be transferring and transforming because say if you're going through something and you're going through pain, if you care for a person, if you love a person, or you have affection for them, there's a good chance that you're not going to want to transfer that pain to them during an interaction. So during this time, it's also important to understand that when we intake something or when we have something that's created within ourselves that is not of the best energy of how it's formed within ourselves, we're going to want to release it, but we're not going to want to release it in the painful way that it was created. We're going to want to release it in another way to where maybe it's more palpable for others to have it in their environment and to receive it, because you're not going to want to keep, it's almost like fueling the fire or the environment where even when you do release it, you don't want to release the same type of stuff that you don't even want, and it's going to upcycle and go back maybe to you and maybe to the other person. So it can be coming out in different ways too. So we'll just say the past is the Knight of Earth, the Knight of Pentacles. So you have it in the obstacle and you have it in the past. Loyal, dedicated, honorable, kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. Guardian angel. So it seems like this reading is a reminder of commitment. And there's a consistency here that I'm noticing. And it doesn't seem like it's challenged, but it's trying to get the mind and the heart to be steadily instead of feeling like it's going all over the place because of the anxiety. The other past is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, not, well, traditionally, like in the Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation or imagery, you'll see somebody that's blindfolded and guarded, as you see there too. So this might be not being able to see or not being able to hear. There's some sensory that is blocked, so we are going to have to use other sensory to make up for that. And it can be a level of perception of, is it really lack or can we use another resource? So the future is the Judgment card, which is interesting. The Judgment card isn't a bad card. It is what you make of it, because you can have a successful victory, especially if you're thinking about it like with war too. It's good to have peace, but I think it's good to have a victory to make sure that people know where you stand, and um, for your opponent not to come back to try to do the same things. It is, in a way, territorial, and it is kind of marking that territory and owning the strength. So we have the Judgment for the future. So based off of the things that you do, because it's interesting because the Justice is in the present. So if we keep to the commitments and we keep to the type of integrity that we're wanting and not trying to create the villain, the beginning of the villain story, then it can be prosperous, because the Judgment is Major Arcana, and the things that, it's almost like the things that we eat in a worldly perspective and what we receive from it, or um, kind of the rewards that we get from all that labor intensive training and doing and speaking and adventuring that we get with the Fool's Journey. And then it's the future as well. And it's interesting because it reflects, because in the present you have the moon, and in the future you have the moon. So important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. I I do feel like it's an emphasis on honing in to those types of feelings that you have for situations and for a person, and kind of studying those feelings and seeing what's the underlying causes that reflects the type of actions that we put out there in, again, different ways, in the way that we speak and the way that we talk to, the way that we speak and the way that we feel, sorry. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in another video. Bye.